Coming up, public safety wins for DC residents, student loan cuts, my conversation with Imara Crooms, and how you can join the socialist fight. But first, war abroad, austerity at home. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MDC Dispatch. I'm your host, Tony, and I'll be bringing you the news and events from Metro DC DSA. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and be on the lookout for a new Dispatch episode every first and third Sunday each month. Last Saturday, an estimated 8 million people took to the streets across 50 states and several continents for the third No Kings Day of Action, the largest single-day protest in American history. Demonstrators came out against Trump's war on Iran, the ICE crackdowns that have killed people in Minnesota and beyond, and the cascading economic pain that this administration is inflicting on working people. The war is no longer a distant abstraction. Oil prices have surged more than 40% since the U.S. and Israel attacked Iran in late February. Gas is over $4 a gallon. The stock market is in chaos. And now, the United States Postal Service has announced an unprecedented 8% fuel surcharge on all package shipping starting April 26, a war tax on every online order, every small business shipment, every package that arrives at your door. On Wednesday, Trump said the quiet part out loud at a White House Easter luncheon. The federal government can't fund daycare, Medicaid, Medicare, or what he called all these little things because, in his words, we're fighting wars. We have to take care of one thing, military protection. He literally told his budget director not to send any money for daycare. The mask is off. War abroad means austerity at home, and he's not even pretending otherwise. This is where socialists fit in. The No Kings movement is drawing millions of people into the streets on a set of issues that liberals treat as separate: immigration, war, healthcare, the cost of living, but socialists understand as interlocking fronts of the same capitalist system. Racism, militarism, and economic exploitation aren't three different problems, they're three faces of the same structure, and you can't fight one without fighting them all. DSA chapters across the country showed up at No Kings actions last weekend, and that's exactly right, because as millions of people realize their power to not just witness, but act in the face of fascistic aggression, socialists can and must present the alternative. The reachable and teachable moments have never been more abundant. When the President of the United States goes on camera and says, your kid's daycare and your grandmother's Medicare have to be sacrificed so he can bomb Iran, the socialist case makes itself. We just have to be there to make it. And now, our new co-host, Tayo. Over to you.
Thanks, Tony. While ICE has been less in the headlines lately, it's still important to be vigilant because ICE is still continuing its abduction operations nationwide, including in the DMV. One such vigilant member of Metro DC's DSA captured video of an abduction in DC's Petworth neighborhood earlier this week.
We're gonna start the line at that tree right there. Move everybody back.
Now, while the number of ICE abductions in the DMV are difficult to determine, one thing that is clear is that Metro PD is continuing their collaboration with the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. As horrifying as this is, there's still hope in sight. Last week at our Hype rally, Metro DC endorsed mayoral candidate Janice Lewis-George spoke about Metro DC's DSA's moral clarity, which is standing up to ICE. She has pledged to end cooperation with MPD and ICE on day one.
And we have fought in this moment when Trump sent in the National Guard and ICE. We have been there on the line, trying to protect our neighbors as best we can. So I'm grateful, and I'll never apologize for being a part of a movement that stands up and fights for people. Metro DC DSA have courage and moral clarity. Necessary in this moment. We're going to end cooperation PD and ICE. I had already introduced the legislation. I've already put my body on the line. It's in cooperation between the PD and ICE.
The DC Public Service Commission recently approved a Pepco rate hike that led to the largest increase in utility costs in the country. The deregulation scheme that allowed this to happen was rubber stamped by former council member and current mayoral candidate Kenyon McDuffie. Amid this hike and increasing precarity among DC residents, Metro DC DSA endorsed mayoral candidate Janice Lewis George introduced emergency legislation to pause electricity disconnections for 90 days. With DC's Pepco-friendly council, the legislation needed an amendment brought forward by Councilmember Charles Allen to pass. The amendment limits the pause of disconnections to just those that owe under $1,000 or less. But even this weakened legislation still provides necessary relief for residents forced to choose between rent, food, and utilities. During the pause, the council is set to consider a slate of proposals geared towards increased bill transparency and lowering cost. On Tuesday, Brooke Pinto's youth curfew emergency legislation was paused by the DC Council. Contrary to Pinto's alarmism, youth curfew zones allow the Metropolitan Police Department, the National Guard, and armadas of other mass federal agents to target and harass DC's youth. Even though Chair Mendelson has supported the curfews in the past, he called to punt a vote on the measure until the May legislative meeting, meaning the youth curfew emergency legislation now expires on April 15th. Let's go. Following the council session, Councilmember Pinto sent an email newsletter expressing disappointment that local teenagers will be able to enjoy the outdoors as the weather warms up. Crying emoji. Also on Tuesday, the Full Accountability in Arrest Reporting, or FAR bill, summoned a similar quick action. Despite Bowser's attempts to once again block police accountability, the council voted unanimously to override her veto, no doubt feeling the pressure from the Organized Families Not Feds coalition. A popular front that had spent all day in the Wilson building to support the override erupted into applause as the council sided with the people of DC. Under FAR, DC police must document federal agents present at arrests, track federal agents' use of force, and publish footage from body-worn cameras of any officer's use of force. Now, this obviously isn't a full solution. Body cameras are not an effective tool, and as history has shown us time and time again, MPD officers will continue to find ways to shirk any consequences for their violence. But this is a first step towards some police accountability. The true solution, as always, will require ending the occupation, further eroding MPD's broad power, closing loopholes in the Sanctuary Values Act, and investing in the communities of DC instead of the DC police. Those interested in joining the Popular Front to empower DC's working class can hit the streets with MDC DSA's electoral working group. Find out more at the link in the description. 7.5 million. That is the number of Americans that will be punished by the Trump administration for the crime of, let me check my notes here. Wanting an education. That's right. The 2023 Biden-led Saving on a Valuable Education repayment plan is being officially sunset on July 1st of this year as part of the current administration's plan to dismantle the Department of Education. This decision will have long-reaching effects across the entire country, as if you are one of the more than 7 million borrowers that were enrolled in SAVE, you haven't been required to make student loan payments for almost 2 years. Don't worry, if you thought you heard anything in the background, it was only my starving wallet crying out again. Just so hungry. You get used to it. For the numbers, resources on navigating the austerity regime, and more, please read Claire Radford's insightful breakdown on this topic in Mirror Indy at the link in the description.
Metro DC DSA voted to endorse 8 electoral candidates across DC, Montgomery County, and Prince George's County, Maryland in 2026. I sat down with one of these candidates, Imara Crooms, running for PG County Council, District 9. Have a listen to our conversation.
So my name is Amar Crooms. I am a Democrat running for County Council out here in the 9th District of Prince George's County. Very notably, the only publicly financed candidate in my race. Beyond that, we all know each other through my years of organizing and advocacy with DSA. I think I've been a member 6-7 years, something like that. I was a elected member of steering. I often tell people DSA is my political home. It took a while to stick, but once it did, it became like the center of my my politics, and in many ways that also shapes my my decision to run.
You're running in District 9. Tell me a little bit about what part of the county that is. What are some of the special challenges that it faces, and what are you looking to try to do for it?
So I'm running in as you said, the ninth councilmanic district of Prince George's County. My wife and I live out here on a little farm, and not that little, I guess, in Croom. Uh,
Okay.
but that tells you something. I live on a farm, right? So the ninth district is massive. It is the majority of our rural and agricultural land. Um, it is very spread out. We do have some real population centers, and that actually highlights another issue is that much of the ninth district is unincorporated. So like Clinton, I think is like maybe the eighth largest city in
Right.
Maryland, right? But it is
Hmm.
unincorporated. So
Right.
those people are aggressively underserved. That is one of the standards of the ninth district is that people are not provided the services that their taxes are paying for. And frankly, what's interesting for me as a leftist is that this is an archetypal rural-urban divide problem. You know, like but played out on the local scale. Like when we think about places in the rest of the country where people are always mad about not getting any services, and then like we come from the East Coast, right? Like we are in many ways Prince George's County is suffering with some of the same issues. Folks who live in the rural area, we are one of my campaign pillars is the idea of ending dumping ground politics. Like this district is relentlessly hit by like economic or environmental disasters, right? Like
Right.
because any development that is too dangerous and unpleasant to be around other people, they dump it down here, and it's not like people don't live down here. We like there's people here, there's farms here, there's our beautiful natural areas, which are like such a tremendous resource for this county, and one that's like kind of consistently overlooked by folks in power the way that it always is. You know, the natural environment is seen as a resource to be spent rather than something to be protected. Um, yeah, like that's the standard of politics down here, and my one of my aims is to end that, is to make it clear that like if somebody is not interested in serving the people down here, they should not be elected. And my deepest hope is that. So one thing I tell people all the time is I have no interest in a career in politics. I don't want to do this the rest of my life. Like
Fair
4 to 8
enough.
years sounds awesome. I want to be here long enough to show people that it can be better, and then hopefully have somebody else who's publicly financed take over for me and continue to do the work of the people.
So what would be if you're elected, what would be your like number one priority?
So there's three, but if I had to pick just one, the biggest one would be to be responsive. Like our local government has not made a habit of listening to the populace. And it's hard is when I'm out there on doors, folks like hearing it, but they struggle to believe it because so many people have told people this for so long. Like having regular town halls that's fundamentals of governance. And like showing up for your community when they invite you to something. Like we've got a ton of civil society groups here. I've told all of them, like, if they invite me, I will come, I will be
Yeah.
there, I won't send my staff. Like that is basic stuff, and it breaks my heart that people don't believe in it, don't believe me when I say it. So that's one thing. I'm a big believer in like co-governance, like taking one a while back actually. My partner Andrea helped me to set up this session that was called "Our Farms, Our Future." It was like a policy jam, and the purpose of it was to bring together folks from the agricultural community and like have them draft legislation. To see first and foremost that drafting legislation is not hard. It's like the practice of law has made it so that everything to do with our laws feels like obfuscated. It's like a little too technical and everything like that. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Like normal people can and should write draft legislation for their legislators and pass it to them, and then have the legislators figure it out. Um, to me, co-governance is a better way to show the populace that you're listening to them. So that's one thing. The other big thing I'm focused on is development. Like our approach to development is just heartbreaking out here. We've got really great plans. Our 30-year plans are excellent. We don't follow them. All
Right.
the development that happens down here happens by waiver. So like your people's local representative signs off on development that happens that we legally should not be doing because we don't have the infrastructure for it. We've got the deadliest highway in Maryland, Old Indian Head. There's still new developments being put up along this highway. Like we have no plans really. I mean, we have vague plans, but no real plans of like doing public transit down there, like providing people alternatives to the deadliest highway in the state. And yet we keep throwing up new houses. It's like never-ending suburban sprawl has got to stop until we can provide the people who live here with the services that they deserve and that they are mandated to have before more development happens.
Things
So one
like
of the
that.
challenges of Prince George's is that also like, and you know, there's no you can't really talk around this. Like one of the issues of Prince George's is just tremendous inequality.
Yeah.
You know, like you look to Northern Virginia, you look to Montgomery County in Maryland, and like the investment that happens in those places is not mirrored here. And you know, it's because of who lives here, and it's absurd to pretend that that's not the case. You know, this is a minority majority place. The stigma against Prince George's, oftentimes, you know, we talk about um, perfect example. I got a little 2-year-old, and there's this park we like to bring her to, Watkins Park. And there's this beautiful park there. There's like a yellow brick road theme. It's like a awesome little playground that has been like in the news. And when it's in the news, they tell you it's in Maryland, but they don't tell you where it is because the only thing that Prince George's can be known for is like the motorcycle boys and like you know the occasional shootout. Like it's just so is
The
so
university's there.
frustrating. Exactly. Right. Like, yeah. University of Maryland, right? Like Bowie University. Like there's so much going on here. Not to mention like gorgeous natural spaces. We've got wineries just down the street from where I live, you know, like much closer than the ones in Virginia and nice, you know.
Greenbelt.
Yeah, exactly. Greenbelt. Greenbelt is kind of legendary. But so much of the narrative around what this place is it comes from a place of like of deficit. You know, like they love to paint Prince George's as like less than our surrounding areas. One thing that's really noteworthy, one thing I like to talk about is that I worked for USAID and the State Department. I was like one of the folks who was Doged, and the impact of Doge on the people of Prince George's County was tremendous. And that is
Yeah.
because the federal government is one of the only places, the federal government and the military, and are the only places in America that our systems are fundamentally built on merit. And they're not perfect, but we've struggled toward that for decades. And so the federal
If-
government was like heavily
Huge
heavily
part.
resourced by Black people,
Yes.
especially by Black women, because when you cut away like the uh, the barriers, you can see people's merit. You know, like this district or sorry, this county is like was previously the wealthiest Black county in the country. And now it's people have moved down to Charles County because it's they were.
I was gonna
they were
say
able
it's
to-
not still.
Right. It's our neighbors just over the line, a little further south. But so much of that is built on this history of like service. And you know
Yeah.
what's interesting is that conservatives love to, you know, pretend that they worship the idea of service, but it's only for cops, it's only for soldiers, right? Like it's never for teachers, it's never for healthcare workers, it's never for the members of the government who serve this country every day.
Your
So
mailman.
it's like, yeah, exactly, right? Like all the things that make our country work, somehow those are all leeches. It's only, you know, it's only the soldiers, it's only the cops who count as public service. But this county is built on public service, and I think that's really important. Something I like to highlight because right now people are really hurting. As
No.
as the Fed has been cored, we are getting hit harder than anybody else on that issue.
What kinds of things are you looking to do? Do you have like specific proposals for things like housing?
So many. So, well, wow. There's a ton. Make sure you get me back on track if I wander off, because there's one thing
I got the time.
one thing I'm
You do.
often asked is what are the things that I'd most like to see in like my first term, and one of them is that we got to change the way that we are doing all of this. So like
Right.
I'm running publicly financed. I'm the only person in the race doing so. I want this to become the standard. So I want to ensure that like those funds will be there because they're constantly under threat. So first, I would love to see legislation that like supports that system. Second, um, there is legislation that was actually just announced the other day. I'm super excited to get to vote on this. There's legislation that was just announced the other day that would um, address our council positions. So
Hmm.
years ago, we created these at-large positions. In Prince George's County, a council member is limited to 2 terms. Unfortunately, since they created these at-large positions, people can then move from the district positions
District,
over to
yeah.
the at-large positions to just sort of, shuffle the deck and you know, be your forever government.
You still have a huge incumbent. It's not technically an
Right,
incumbent.
exactly. Yeah, like I don't. I think actually to date, folks can check me on this, but I'm pretty positive. To date, no one has won one of those uh, at-large councilman positions who has not already been an incumbent from a district level race. So it's just a way for people to stay in office longer.
Okay, question from the chat. What do you like most about PG County and your community?
I love that. So I live in South County. So the thing that I love most about this county is our natural spaces. Prince George's County is gorgeous, and people just don't know because they don't come out here. We've got I waxed poetic about the wineries earlier. They're like right up the street from me, and they're super cool. They're very chill. They're not kind of pretentious in the way that other wineries that shall not be named can sometimes be. So I love that. I love our parks probably most of all. Like just gorgeous natural spaces. There's tons of other things, but that's probably my number one.
I think we'll leave it there. I'll make sure everybody gets your socials, and everyone, please, if you can, go to the pinned link in or the pinned comment in chat and go to the donate site for Imara Crooms.
Yeah. Really appreciate you. Thanks for making this space. It's funny. This is the first time I've done this. And it's sort of, to me, it's like shooting the shit over a beer, which is my standard way of talking about politics. So
That's good. I
anytime,
think it's really good.
really appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Imara, and best
Yeah,
of luck to you in
thank
your
you.
election. Look forward to more from MDC DSA endorsed candidates on the dispatch in the coming months. And check the description for links to get involved with the campaigns today.
Let's talk about some upcoming MDC DSA events. Join the chapter for any of our huge slate of events coming up in the next few weeks. RSVPs will be linked in the description. Starting with MoCo, the Montgomery County branch is hosting an in-person educational forum covering an introduction to our economic and political system under capitalism, along with an introduction to the alternative system of socialism that the DSA aims to build locally, nationally, and internationally. Capitalism versus Socialism, new member cohort session 1 will be held on Wednesday, April 8th. Are you enjoying the video? Is it making you curious about DSA? Thinking about joining but want to hear more about it first? If so, come to our new member orientation. You'll learn about DSA, what we do, and how you can get involved in the fight for a brighter future. April 8th, that's a Wednesday. Arlington, Alexandria, Fairfax, all the other people in the V of the DMV, please join the Nova branch for their monthly branch meeting. This month, they'll discuss their current campaigns, recent events, organizational questions, and updates from allied organizations. New members are always welcomed. That's April 9th, which is a Thursday. Going back to MoCo, the MoCo branch is also hosting their monthly general body meeting next week. The branch meeting is open to the public, so if you are DSA curious, a new member, or a returning vet, you're more than welcome to participate. That's Saturday, April 11th. Are you or a loved one looking for a new job or maybe just a possible career switch? Come to the Nova Labor Job Fair and get a job organizing with working people. You'll get the opportunity to learn about what strategic industries need workers and how to make a positive impact for the labor movement. That's also April 11th, Saturday. Join Metro DC DSA in canvassing for longtime chapter member Imara Crooms and his luxurious locks for Prince George's County's Council District 9. Imara is running to fight for people-centric development, increased police accountability, increased transit infrastructure in South County, and I think if we ask really nicely, we'll drop the hair routine. We hope to see you come out and help us out Sunday, April 11th. Metro DC DSA endorsed candidate Azola Shaw will be hosting a meet and greet on Sunday, April 12th. Azola is running for District 3 on the Montgomery County Council, which includes Rockville, Gaithersburg, and Washington Grove. If you haven't met Zola yet, this is a great time to meet her. As always, subscribe to the weekly update for the most up-to-date list of events every week at the link in the description. And we come again to our DMV Left Bulletin. More than just DSA is hosting events in the coming weeks. So are so many of our allied groups. Here are just a few of some upcoming events that we're really excited for. Aprendí Español con Comrades. The DC Spanish Club for Socialists, a project of multiple area socialist and mutual aid organizations, including Metro DC DSA, is a free weekly event where organizers meet up to practice their Spanish, which is much better than mine. The event is about 90 minutes long and is split into beginner, intermediate, and advanced groups, so learners of all levels should feel welcome. The next session is scheduled for Monday, April 6th at St. Stephen's. Come to Harriet's House Community Hub launch party on April 11th. Celebrate Harriet's Wildest Dreams 5th anniversary at their new home. Learn about what they've been up to, meet some of their community partners, and center Black joy through dance, food, and fellowship. Find these activities and many more at the calendar of events on the website or in the full weekly update, also linked in the description. We hope to see you there. The Democratic Socialist of America is growing. If you're not already a member of DSA and would like to connect with other like-minded activists, community organizers, and neighbors, visit dsausa.org and join today. I literally paid my dues last week. Metro DC DSA is the third largest chapter in America with over 3,000 members. We are very active in the community and have groups focused on labor, tenant rights, LGBTQ rights, environmental activism, and so much more. DSA is the largest socialist organization in America, and we would love to have you as a member. These and other stories, along with links and sources, can be found in the Metro DC DSA Weekly Update newsletter, which you can find, say it with me now, in the description.
This production has been a collaboration of members of Metro DC DSA.
Make sure you look out for new videos on the first and third Sunday every month.
I'm your host, Tony.
And I'm Tayo.
Signing off with a reminder, a better world is possible.